Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and can't sleep, so I figured I would try and talk with myself and see how things are going in my head. Um, I think I'm headed to Macau to go reset my visa. Happy Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day today on this part in this part of the world anyway. Um, yeah, really struggling with getting a grip on anything. Really struggling lately, and I could absolutely see why social media doesn't help anybody. It it definitely is just more exacerbating on any thoughts, and there's nothing. Even a lot of the positive stuff that's coming out of it is mostly just like distraction more than real positivity. Um, like the knowledge you gain is not like knowledge that you gain from reading a book. Uh, and the conversations are not like what it's like to have a conversation with a real person. Um, but yeah, as I get closer and closer to, I don't know, whatever it is that I'm doing with my life, I just have a harder and harder time getting anything done in a day or um, everything has less and less meaning or has less meaningful value, and I'm really struggling to see um, what it is that I'm actually working towards. And motivation just seems like a harder and harder commodity to come by. Um, and I, yeah, I really don't know how to resolve that. And all of this stuff just seems to be getting, it's like a negative feed loop. Like it just seems to be getting harder and worse. Uh, and harder to accomplish things or do anything or find meaning in anything. Um, and even the positives are sort of dwindling or suspect or just overall. It's, it's been really hard. Um, and I don't know where this puts me. I don't know where I land with any of this stuff because there's no immediate pressure, but um, like the forecast a year out from now is pretty bleak if things go the way that they continue to go without any sort of change in direction or resolution. Um, yeah, a mediocre life is definitely maybe a worse death than a bad one. I don't know. I definitely think that I romanticize a lot of the negativity in my life, or maybe there was so much of it that I got accustomed to it in a way that makes it feel better than it was, or I've numbed myself to it in reflection in a way that I don't remember necessarily feeling or something like that. But I just like I do fantasize about the hard times more because it just seems like it's so much easier to deal with when things are hard because you only have one choice and you only have one way to go. Uh, and so it's either do that or don't. And so you can be depressed and sad and choose death or choose to fail. But you you sort of know what you don't have the ability or strength or motivation to accomplish. Whereas like right now it's just like I don't feel like even doing anything. So it doesn't even there's ways that I could correct this situation, but it's like I don't I even outside of just correcting the situation, I have time to just enjoy life. I could do that. I could just go sit and have coffee every day and smile in the sunshine. And I'm not doing that. I'm up sleepless at 3 o'clock in the morning, sleeping through the day. Um, like I'm not even somebody that has sort of like resided in their failure and been like, okay, why? I'm never gonna go back to work. I'm never gonna do these things. I'm just gonna give up on life and just enjoy the rest of it before it's all gone. Like I'm not even doing that. I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not even indulging in the negative things, and I'm not doing the positive ones. I'm not getting proper sleep. I'm not like regimented in eating anymore, or like I'm going to the gym, but I'm not like pushing to get in this like ridiculous shape anymore. Like I'm not anything. I'm just not doing anything really well. Like I'm just subpar across the board or something. Like I don't know what um what it is. And like I come back to these things often where like oh I would like to meet this person or I would like to uh, somebody to save me or somebody to motivate me. But one, it doesn't work like that. Two, I'm refusing to even let those people in that are would be willing to do whatever those things are. Uh, and and I'm just not like I'm just not trying at all to do anything. Like I'm not even trying to fail. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to be great. I'm not even trying to be bad. Like I could just go off and be a drunk and a drug addict and a like just ruin my life that way. And I'm not even doing that. I'm just like stuck in this like misery of averageness. Which I mean, like I guess I'm in a tropical place on the other side of the world, but I don't really think that that is an accomplishment or makes anything less average because there's hundreds of thousands of millions of people here that live their life like this every day. and they're doing more with it than I am. And I just don't. Uh, there's so much opportunity and so much potential and so much still left, and I'm not taking any of it. And I don't know what it's going to take, and and everything that I look at or see is just even more disheartening. And obviously, I need to stop looking at social media, but it's just like people selling this and that and telling you what's wrong with you, and this like constant strive to perfection, and what parts of yourself you need to remove, and it's like the 1% of the 1% talking about like what most people are going through, and there was this thing I heard about. um, they built some jet fighter cockpit thing for the average height and width and side dimensions of the average fighter pilot, but it suited like 3% of the pilots or something, some ridiculously small number, because nobody's really average. And so yeah, you have all these um, summarizations and generalizations about like what will make your life better, and you have a million people, and obviously it's still your choice to sift through what works for you, and that's why there is this space of a million life coaches and a million financial advisors, like, because there's a unique subset of people that work with whatever you say, whatever words come out of your mouth works for a small number of people. um, and you can preach then, because your bubble gets so small, that's really it is everybody in your immediate vicinity does act this way or does respond well to this thing or that thing, and I don't know, I just have found it to be sort of like a lack of acknowledgement that like this thing isn't going to help you if it doesn't sound exactly like you, or this isn't the answer. Everybody shouldn't quit their job and go be social media influencers. Like not everybody can, like not every single person in the world can go be a travel blogger, or just like not every person in the world could be a rocket scientist, even if everybody was like equally capable. So like even if you factored out skill, uh, and natural ability, it's like there just isn't enough demand for rocket scientists for everyone to be one. And so it's like saying that if this isn't working, then this is what you should do, is just like almost like a dangerous proposition for the majority of the world. And obviously having nothing to do all the time, I do see hundreds of thousands of people just going about their days still not trying to change anything. And so that feels like a weird um, incongruency, I guess, in like my social media feed of the things that I'm getting fed of, like you need to change it, whereas like I just see everyone living these normal lives and doing what needs to be done. And somewhere along the line, I just like couldn't do that anymore. I just couldn't. Like, I just can't be normal, and I can't be unhappy, and I can't be. I I don't know. Maybe I'll be forced back into it. I don't know, but it doesn't. The idea of doing what I used to do, I like. Uh, it's almost like, and I've thought about this too. It's almost like being in a relationship with somebody that cheats on you and lies to you and does all these things, and you just ignore it and pretend it doesn't happen because it's not in your face, and you get to pretend like life's okay because on the surface and as far as like your bubble goes, you can just pretend that you have the life that you want. Except in this case, I don't even know what the life that I want is anymore. Like, I don't know what I'm heading for, like, or heading towards. Like, I wanted to have all the things that I have, uh, and other than finding work or like some kind of purpose, I have all of them. I wanted to be healthy, and I wanted to be sober, and I wanted to be more in my life and experience my life more, and here I am, full circle with the same problem in a different form that I had when I worked 16 hours a day and got messed up every other hour of the day that I wasn't working because I hated everything that I was doing, and I couldn't handle any of it. Um, and I just hated the the whole loop, and I was numbing myself to it. And I don't know what the solution is. I feel myself getting just pulled further and further away, like heading down, heading in the wrong direction. I don't know. And like again, it's like think about winning the lottery, or being rich enough to just like be secluded and uh, cook for myself all the like, or like do unique cooking, or like pursue whatever odd passion is driving me in the moment. It's like what have I contributed to society to deserve that kind of life? And what a waste of somebody randomly becoming a millionaire just so they can lock themselves away from society. Like, it's like it, and the universe is random and um, either deterministic or not. Um, but it's like if there was genuine purpose behind why people win, and if there was karma and deserving of good things happening in your life, it's like what possible good reason? Like, I haven't suffered enough atrocity to uh, warrant just having peace and contentment for the rest of my life without having to work towards it or earn it. Like, I have not done enough for humanity or society or even for the people that matter to me to warrant um, being able to just lock myself away on an island or whatever. Like, at best, I may have, at this point, earned the right to take a sabbatical like I did and have to face the consequences of that. But, like, I definitely have not lived some evangelical life that warrants me this karma debt of mortal happiness until I die. So, so I don't know where that leaves me because I don't deserve more than what I have, and I don't know that there is any less than than feeling full of nothing. So, despite my life definitely having the potential to get much worse, I I have been in dire situations, and this just waiting for death by time is one of the worst feelings I've struggled with, more so than some more fearful or dreadful times that I've been through, for sure. Uh, yeah, and like the relationship stuff is interesting, just because I've spent a lot of time thinking about like what that really is, like what like first learning that like compromise is a thing, that you can have a fight with somebody, and that's not the end of the world, that there's a path through that, and then think about like, well, how much compromise does it actually take to be with somebody for real, and from there, not just that, but this idea that like somehow it's better to be alone than to be in a bad relationship. And like I don't really know that it is, like I like, especially like where I'm at now, but like, and I have arguments on both sides of this, but I've been in some extremely destructive, very unhealthy, toxic, violent, awful situations, and I still don't know that, like, it definitely felt like it was the worst thing I could have done, but I actually don't know that, like, what what life was like outside of that is better from like some moral standpoints and better from some decision standpoints, but like at the end of the day, like, the person that I was in this relationship was awful. The person that it led me to be was awful. But outside of it, I was still awful, and before it, I was struggling just as much and headed towards a bad path anyways. And so it's like I maybe wouldn't have been in this awful situation. And so that's objectively better than, say, like me being having existential crisis and being kind of permanently depressed is better than being in this like violent abusive relationship, or like these other things that I've been in. But it's like it doesn't really matter how you get to zero, or any number below zero. It's like when you like if you're playing a game of and you're like a hero or whatever. It's like if your life is over at zero, well, it doesn't matter if you like get killed plus damage or whatever. It's like it's still over. Like they're still bad. Like they're both below zero. It's over for both of them. So it's like, yes, that was worse, but they were both still headed to zero. And so it I'm saying that like not heading to zero is a bigger problem than like how you're getting to zero. And I think that I'm very worried about uh, the way that I get there. And so now I'm heading to zero very slowly instead of very quickly, but I'm still heading to zero. And so all of this is like an explanation of my own situation, not uh, of like other people's abusive relationships and other people's bad situations they've been in. It's like my situations. I haven't fixed this problem of like what makes me want to get out of bed in the morning. And in fact, I've recently just made it worse somehow while trying to do the opposite. So I really don't know. So yeah. Anyways, I will keep plugging away at this and try to figure it out. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out in the world. And I hope everybody's having a good weekend.